Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of UruLive. Last episode I went through, well, the last of the main online stuff that was present when the original game came out, along with a little extra stuff that I happened to find. And we've got a lot of stuff in our Relto now as well. We've shown off quite a bit. We've gotten quite a bit of stuff. Ah, damn it, there's still one more thing I need to get. You know what? I'll go run and do that right now. What the hell? Why not? One more sparkly I need to get. I kept forgetting about it. Shouldn't take long. But yes, last episode I showed off a lot more of the multiplayer areas that were present when the original game came out. As I mentioned back in the beginning, the multiplayer was available, and then not available, and then available again, and then not available again, and now it's maintained by the players who have actually added in some content, which I will show much later on down the line. In fact, I think these sparklies that have been present were something that was added by them. You'll see what happens when we get all 12 of them eventually. Excuse me again. Yeah, for that one we need to rise up something else to the top. I believe it's the third one. In order to get that, we need to rise the third one up to the top. Then we'll be able to get that sparkly. I don't believe Kirel, where I got this shirt I'm wearing now for the Guild of Cartographers, was present at the time. Honestly, I prefer the black shirt, but I'm not a writer. There we go. This'll take a minute or two. There, that should be good. Now we should be able to get that sparkly. Excuse me. Am I right? Yes! There we go. That's the sixth one. I kept forgetting about it. Now then, the next particular one was known as Path of the Shell. Now they changed how it worked a bit. Originally with Path of the Shell, you went into some sort of age, and then went from there. I think they removed that, and it's different how you go through the path of the shell content. This was an expansion that came out that you had to buy, which I did. Now, I believe if you want to get to it, you have to go to the Watcher's Pub, located here. I may be wrong, but let's see. Yes, that looks right. There isn't much to this place. Got some sort of tree in an underground location that we can't get to. Go up here and we find a bunch of stuff. I believe this was what we could get to. Ah, and these are the books. Section 1. Revere the maker, cherish the maid. Here lies wisdom. The door lies at the end of the path. Who will gather? Many. Who will finish? Few. The grower will take time. The grower will bring light. The grower will have ages. Take time and move it to and fro. Bring light and give it to the dark places. Have ages and link to them without bindings. Loud cries yet again. Can it be made? No. We mourn our loss. No one sees. In rock is where changes are found. Because of tunnels, Dunny has changed forever. New events surround us, awaiting our arrival. The path to the left or right? That is the only power of man. The grower leads in the dark, while the deceiver flails in the light. The grower raises truth in the absence of eyes, while the deceiver blesses them in clear view of many. Without the grower, those who are like the grower would never learn. Without the grower, the name known by all would not have existed. Knowing the least is the path of wisdom, a sweet aroma rising up. Kings and prophets, the proud ones, have the stench of death. The passing of time brings the path to the gathered. A breach has been cut, and now the paths are joined. The giving of gifts heals the wound of the builder. In cages they weep, time and again. Without their tears, truth remains hidden. Your cry is your call. If no one will hear them, weep for us. The makers of the wise bring pleasure to the maker. The meeting of worlds is death and life. They count years and months. A long week is as short as an age is long. There is noise where once there was silence, light where once there was not. Stone stands tall and rock falls down, and they are watched, always, not knowing. Silence will return, light will fade, stone will fall, rock will grow again. From the shadow of the wound, history will be rewritten. The disease will spread until Dunny cannot be saved. 7 they are, though little do they realize, only 4 is seen as they see. For 7 is 1, and 1 is 7. Riding of lynx is a gift to be cherished. Where are our people? Who are our people? What are our people? Cry those who die on the streets. The crumbling of the walls will come from within. The stories of the destroyer will be the start of the burden. The burdened one will come from outside. The burden of the remnant will be laid upon his shoulders. Be still, and the path will be made known. What will grow? The tree of all things. Who will grow it? The grower. Pages burn, ink spills. Is there no one to protect us when we turn against ourselves? Books will be your stronghold, and then you will die. The destroyer will cut down this great tree of wickedness. Another place will be their refuge. Another place will be their home. Dance and celebrate, for the tree grows again. 7 nameless abused, 6 called abused, 5 sent away, 4 sell to 3, 3 accepted without 18, 2 one of 8, 1 wear color and hold paper. Poison fills the hearts of Betty. New air enters some. Believe. The scream you hear has no breath. Old ways are just kept to test. Curses rain upon the others from the lips of the proud. Eyes are removed, yet sight is restored. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And I believe the rest of these are all filled with the same kind of... I have no idea. I could read through all of these, but again, it's all the same kind of stuff that they're talking about. Vague and the like, and I really never knew what the hell it was all talking about. Vague metaphors, cyclic repeatings, and all that stuff. I never knew. I could never figure that out. So I'm not going to read through all that. I know, how disappointing. That said, what we do have is 2 linking books here and a book here. The Watcher's Sanctuary. Analysis. Author, Simpson. Transcribed from voice recorder. Okay, where to get started? The room itself is actually pretty simple, and at first glance doesn't seem to have much to it. Well, for your average explorer. There is actually much more here than meets the eye. Much more, at least as far as history. It's practically dripping off the walls. Fortunately, I dig that stuff. Lucky for you, I'm also better than your average explorer. Might be getting ahead of myself. Structure. Circular room with a number of doorways leading off in each direction. Large staircase, might need some support work, leads to an upper level. Okay, this just doesn't work without knowing some of the history and story behind this place. I gotta start there. I've done some translation and talked with Watson. This is great stuff. Alright, the tree off the balcony. I did do a little walking around. I can't see it well. Dark, but it's an old tree. Don't know exactly when it was created, although certain style and material elements suggest as far back as the early 2000s. Long before a guy called the Watcher came around. And it's the Watcher that this place was created for, renovated for, and dedicated to from the time it was built in the late 4000s, until the fall of Dunny. The Watcher lived during the mid-4000s and spent most of that life on hidden, secluded ages. He wrote a book called Words, a prophetical book. Nostradamus-type guy. Strange, though it doesn't seem his prophecies caught on real well at first, though through a variety of events. You can ask somebody else if you want to know them all. The guy became more and more popular, then faded, then popular again. Yeah, you know the deal. There was always a core group of followers, but the overall population wavered. I would imagine depending on how accurate they viewed his visions. Over the course of time, a whole lot of copies of his books were printed. We found plenty of them. As I've mentioned, the tree, which I still don't know how to actually get to, was built long before the Watcher. No one at the DRC seems to know exactly what it was for. Best guesses are that the tree was built early on as a representation of the Tunny that had come here, the new tree. They definitely had a thing for trees. So, the Watcher comes along and writes some prophecies. They end up becoming pretty popular, and they do deal quite a bit with the tree, as much of Dunny prophecy does, and an unknown guy builds this building with the tree as its focus. Seems like the building was an upper-class lounge or sitting room. Pub, something along those lines, of the intellectuals come and discuss the philosophies and politics of the day, although there was some homage being paid to the Watcher and his thoughts and ideas. This sanctuary, or whatever you want to call it, stayed successful even while ownership changed. It seems it changed as frequently as the philosophies and religious views of the people. It wasn't until Kaddish came along, yes, our good friend Kaddish, that the thing really took off. Unfortunately, right before the fall. I just realized I haven't moved in the past few minutes. I'm standing in a building giving an analysis of it without moving. Gotta love history. So back to it. Nice little coves in this place. Wouldn't be bad at all with a cigar and... Okay, Kaddish in the fall. Kaddish was the last guy to own it, and it seems he did some renovations. That is where the history and current day setup get interesting. The Watcher spoke quite a bit, in words, about someone known as the Grower. The Grower is prophesied to do a number of things, and it seems there were numerous interpretations of the Grower. Some saw this person as little more than a great lord or king, while others saw this person as a superhuman miracle worker, godlike, conquering time, space, and dimension, and everything else. The views on the Grower were as varied as you can imagine. What's important is that Kaddish viewed himself as the Grower, as the one the Watcher had prophesied about. As a result, he modified the pub to honor not only the prophet, but himself as well. He seemed to be intent on fulfilling as many of the prophecies as he could. So he built this puzzling path of the shell to to the tree, brought the Irkana book here. Kadish was the engineer behind its construction. Brought the Ohone book here and claimed that it allowed him to travel through time, back to the Dunny homeworld as it was, as it is, and as it would be. Kadish claimed he wrote the book. All of these things to fulfill the prophecies. Even the times of Dunny were significant because the Watcher claimed to see visions of the past, present, and future. As a result, he wrote what he saw, never knowing if it would occur in the future, had already occurred in the past, or was occurring as he wrote. People flocked to the place. Not only was it the only way to travel through time, but Kadish himself was the only one who could solve the spiral path of the shell and access the tree. In fact, he would demonstrate his ability to anyone who wanted to come and watch. Nightly challenges were held to see if anyone else could access the room. Seems no one ever did, further confirmation of Kadish as the grower. Kadish bragged that the Watcher clearly spoke of how to solve the room in his prophecies and that anyone could find the solution there. Easy to say when you did build the thing. Maybe I don't get something. Either way, good luck reading through all of those and figuring out anything, let alone the solution to some kind of weird Dunny puzzle. So it seems that Kadish ran the sanctuary up to the end. Obviously, at some point we know he died. We've all seen the remains of the poor guy. An odd end for a guy that seemed to have so much. Had a book right there, but didn't use it. But that's another story. Okay, history out of the way, and I guess I should finish with the spiral path room. I'm not a big puzzle guy, but the room seems very confusing. A switch closes the door and turns on the light, and some mechanism releases a ball back to its starting point. There are numbers scratched into the walls of the maze as well. Enough of that. I can see myself going crazy in a place like this. Ah, the Dunny. Oddly, there is no physical access to or from the city that surrounds the building. We know the building is up in Jatairi, a nice district, but there is definitely no way to get in from the outside and vice versa. Not sure if Kadish sealed it up or if it always was, but I would bet the second idea. Makes it handy to limit access. If you don't have a book, you're not getting here. That would explain why the books here were never destroyed or taken. That's it for now. I'll probably get back here again after checking Irkana and Ohone. Right, I don't know how to access that particular area itself. The one that it mentions, I mean. With the spiral and the other thing. Which I believe is through here. I don't know why. I don't know how we access it. Probably this button, but it doesn't seem like it works. That said, we still have 2 more ages to look at here now. 2 ages that were added with the information. Irkana and Ohone. Not over there. Other way. Oh, someone's here. Hello. These are the 2 ages that were mentioned. One there. And one here. We'll investigate them in the next episode, because this one has gone on long enough. Till then, I'm Chester44. This has been a Let's Play of UruLive, and I shall see you all next time.